What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on TGM Guitars. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's showed support to the channel recently, whether that's subscribing, leaving a comment, or even just a simple like rating. It kind of motivates me to make even more videos, which I know I've been pretty bad with lately, but going to kind of push forward and try and get some more stuff out at the beginning of this year. So if you do enjoy this video and you enjoy my style, then be sure to consider subscribing, leave a comment if you don't like it, if there's something you felt I can improve on. Always looking for some constructive criticism. Just don't be nasty, that's all I ask. And yeah, I can kind of grow with you guys. But anyway, let's jump into the topic of this video. So today we're going to be checking out a channel which was a mainstay on my pedal board for my early gigging days, and that is the Voodoo Octave by Joyo. So this is a pedal I picked up a fair few years ago now when I was going through the Jimi Hendrix phase, and I wanted a fuzz, I wanted something that could do the octave section of the Purple Haze solo, so that's where this came in. So this is quite a good affordable pedal, comes in at £34, you can buy it directly from Joyo or Amazon. There's probably even a few floating around on Reverb and eBay. They're not very hard to get hold of, they're still in production, so they're a good option if you like this kind of thing. Now, it is a copy of the Fox tone machine with a switchable octave section. It's even got the same three controls as the Fox: the fuzz, the tone, the volume, and then a switch to control mid-cut. And yeah, it's just a all-out fuzz pedal, to be honest. It can do that kind of gnarly old style fuzz, as well as going to some of the more kind of mid-scooped muff style fuzz, which is the setting that I mainly used on this, was the mid-cut. Now, the one complaint I do have is that the fuzz control goes from absolutely nothing to quite a bit of fuzz, and then just over the top fuzz as you go further up. So that's something I will show you. I do like the fact it's got that switchable octave, because it means you can use it as a standard fuzz and then kick it in there for solos and just have a bit of fun with it. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump over, pick up a guitar, and give you guys a little taste of what this sounds like. Just before we jump over, one thing I've just noticed is that my lapel mic has stopped working. Having a few issues with it. I had the same sort of issues in my last video. Was hoping it was fixed, but just want to apologise for the quality of the spoken word parts of these videos. Until I can get that sorted out, or get an adapter that doesn't seem to cause me issues, then it'll just be the camera microphone. So once again, sorry for that. I will try and do a little bit of editing and make it sound a little bit better, whether that's just getting some compression on it and taking some of the tinniness out of it. But yeah, let's jump over onto the guitar. Okay, so quick rundown of the signal chain. I've got my Johnson Strat here, which if you haven't seen my 2021 gear rundown video, this is basically a guitar I bought ages ago. It's got the pickups from my Mexican Standard in it, in a Voodoo style pickguard. So as you can tell, it's got the reversed bridge pickup. Thought I had to go Hendrix with this, fuzz into Marshall amp, so I've got my DSL 100 running back there. I did want to do this with a Bulgarian 1960 for those plexi fuzz vibes, but unfortunately there appears to be a tube going and it's making a bit of a weird noise. So kind of had to scrap that idea and go for the actual Marshall. But apart from that, I've just got the Voodoo Octave going straight in the front. Bit of a different setup here. I've literally got the pedal in reaching distance. Should be a bit better than previous videos where I've had the pedal on the floor and I'm reaching down and changing it. So yeah, this is what it sounds like with the pedal off. My bass tone, I won't call it clean, just in case it is a little bit too crunchy for what people like as clean. I don't know. People like to complain on the internet, but this is what it sounds like. So yeah, that's what I'd consider clean, but yeah, you say that on the internet and it gets people upset. Anyway, let's chuck the pedal on, go thing at 12 o'clock, normal mode, and you will notice it will start to scream and have some feedback issues straight away, so be prepared for that. Not exactly a quiet pedal, could do with a noise gate on it. So it's got that spitty kind of vibe that you'd expect. Please excuse the squealing. Let me try and put a noise gate on in the Torpedo Capture X software. That's better. Right, so now you won't have that horrible screaming in the background whilst I'm talking. So yeah, that's it with everything at 12 o'clock. I said that and now it's squealing, isn't it? Of course it is. Right, so let's back the fuzz down a little bit and I'll show you what I mean. Let's put it all the way to 0 and I'll turn it up and you'll see. Hardly anything. And then it almost all comes in, and then from there on it just gets more out of control. And that's the max fuzz. So yeah, it's not exactly the most tameable fuzz. And what I will do, so I'll keep that at 12 o'clock for now. It does, can control it with the guitar volume, but that's with the guitar volume as low as I can get it. And you notice that squealing is becoming quite prominent, isn't it? But yeah, that's probably the lowest you can go whilst playing, and then obviously put it all the way up for complete all out craziness. So what I'm going to do now is just play an A chord and do a tone sweep for you. So at that point it's quite spitty, so I never really have the tone up that high. And then if you put the tone all the way down, it seems to tame that squeal that I'm getting, that kind of high pitch noise, and can get quite dark. I mean, that sounds like I've gone onto the neck pickup and like rolled everything off. So quite an interactive tone control there. Now what I'm going to do is put it on probably my favourite setting and engage the mid cut. Just kind of beefs everything up, and as I said, makes it a little bit more like a muff sort of tone, which is what I personally like. So again, you can have more fuzz if you want it. More fuzz if you want it to make it more crazy. There's still that squeal there. Hopefully that's not the pedal going wrong. Or even more, hopefully it's not the amp going wrong. But let's just turn that tone up a little bit, kind of take the darkness out of it. So turn the fuzz down in that mid-cut mode and just show you. Again, it engages pretty much there. That's when you've got no choice but to have fuzz, to be honest. Or more fuzz. Can get it quite spitty. I don't know if that's the best word for it. We're sort of around there. It doesn't sustain, and if you, I suppose it's not the right way of putting it. It's kind of, you get really defined notes, and it's not kind of all mush, which is quite nice. I mean, if you're going for that more articulated fuzz, then this can do it. So what I'm going to do is back the tone down again to there. And maybe I'll play something else in a different key than that when I engage the octave up. So I'll show you what that one does now. I mean, it's more for single pink notes. It doesn't really do much on chord. I mean, it adds a little bit of a kind of shrillness to chords if you want to use it on chords, but as with probably most Octave fuzzes, it works most on the sort of single notes that are higher up the register. Adds quite a nice little bit of brightness actually to the mid-cut mode, so it kind of just adds in what's missing, and if I was to turn the tone up it probably might be a little bit too much. So yeah, it becomes a little bit too spitty for my liking there. So yeah, it's kind of a brief overview. Now what I'm going to do is jump over onto something with humbuckers, just to give you a kind of lay of the land, what it sounds like if you're using humbuckers. Fuzz always works nice on single coils, so yeah, let's jump over onto humbucker guitar. Okay, so now I've got my Gibson Les Paul Tribute 50s, and yeah, just see what it sounds like with humbuckers. I will give you the bass sound again. So it sounds like this. As you'll notice on the pedal, I've still got the octave up turned on. So with this, that bypass, as it says there, true bypass, that knocks everything off. You can't have just the octave on its own. It's kind of like fuzz or fuzz with octave, but it's quite nice to be able to just control it. So you can click that on once, not have to worry about it. You know it's going to be in there when you click it on the next time. So what I'm going to do is turn that off to give you just an overview of what this sounds like with some humbuckers. Now this does add some kind of fullness and some bite to it. Now, normal mode again, just to show you. Which personally I don't like with humbuckers, that's why I never really used it. As mainly a humbucker man, I found myself turning the tone down. Which then starts to put it back more in the territory of mid-cut, so might as well just have that on. So let's chuck the fuzz up a little bit. And octave time. Probably wrong guitars to play that on. Shouldn't be playing that on the Strat, shouldn't I? But yeah, I mean it's kind of chaos, but if that's what you want, then it's a good way to kind of try out fuzz and see how things are. As I said, it's not very versatile on the fuzz control. You can't dial it back too much, otherwise it just ends up with no fuzz. But yeah, I hope that's given you a good idea of what it sounds like. Personally, I think it sounds better with single coils. And yeah, it just kind of beefs up your tone, but I hope it's been of some use. So I hope that's given you a good overview of what that pedal can sound like. Personally, I much prefer the muff I use now, but then it does sound a little bit like the mid-cut. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Maybe one day I'll shoot them off against each other, but for now, that's what the Voodoo Octave sounds like. It's quite a good way to explore fuzz. As I said, not very versatile with the fuzz control. It kind of just cuts out at a certain point and doesn't allow you to do really low sweeping all the way to mad fuzz. It's kind of not really much, engages, and then it's just craziness from there on out. Again, The normal mode, a little bit too spitty for my liking, but maybe you guys like it, I don't know. It's personal preference really. I know somebody commented on my gain shootout video saying they like the pure chaos of that pedal. And the Octave mode, it does its job. I mean, I only ever used it for the Purple Haze solo whilst playing live. And apart from that, I never really used that pedal as a whole much at all. Soon after that, switched over to the muff, and I found myself using that on songs that I'd never before used a fuzz on. I know some people might argue that the muff is more leaning towards a distortion territory than a fuzz, but yeah, that's kind of how I set that up to sound a bit like that. All in all, at £34, you can't go wrong. If you want to explore and try out some fuzz tones, try out some Octavia, is it Octavia or Octavia? Either way, if you want to try out those kind of tones, then this could be the pedal for you. They're out there for cheap. I mean, 34 quid to buy brand new. It's not exactly breaking the bank, is it? You can probably pick them up used for about £20 or whatever that is in your respective country. But yeah, a great affordable fuzz pedal to have a bit of fun with. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been somewhat informative. I know my review style isn't exactly this is everything it does. I did try a bit more of that today with this is what the sweep does, but it's mainly just me experiencing the pedals, playing them and just having some fun with them and letting you guys tag along and hear what the pedal sounds like with somebody who's just enjoying it. And with that said, if you did enjoy this video, then please be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, and all that good stuff motivates me to do even more videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers for watching. Bye.